Hello and welcome to British Heritage Prism. Do settle in. If you enjoy the video, feel free to like or subscribe, or don't. We're not the BBC. You're allowed to make up your own mind. For years, hating Donald Trump in Britain wasn't merely common, it was compulsory. To express doubt about the narrative was to invite ridicule, suspicion, or worse. So tonight, we're asking a simple, slightly dangerous question. Was Britain's hatred of Donald Trump entirely organic, or was it carefully cultivated? By 2018, Donald Trump was one of the most disliked foreign leaders in modern British polling history. Roughly 3/4 of the public viewed him unfavourably. There were mass protests, giant inflatable effigies, panel shows competing to see who could deliver the sharpest insult. Trump wasn't treated as controversial. He was treated as a punchline, a menace, a moral emergency. Fast forward to today, and something interesting has happened. Trump remains divisive, but the certainty has faded. The hysteria has cooled. More Britons quietly admit, we might not have been told the whole story. And once that seed of doubt is planted, it tends to grow. Time helps. Comparisons help. Seeing how institutions behave when challenged really helps. When media outlets demand absolute trust while showing visible contempt for their audience, people begin to look elsewhere. And that brings us neatly to the BBC. Donald Trump's lawsuit against the BBC's Panorama programme doesn't accuse them of bias, and that would be too easy. It accuses them of something far more serious: editorial distortion. In Panorama, viewers were led to believe Trump incited violence on January 6th, but the full speech tells a more awkward story. That line wasn't buried, it wasn't whispered, it was explicit. Trump also called for calm, for lawfulness. Later that day, he urged people to go home peacefully. According to the lawsuit, much of this context was removed or downplayed, leaving behind a version of events that suggested the opposite of what was actually said. This wasn't a minor oversight. It was bold, almost cheeky. Why? Because by that point, Trump had been so thoroughly demonized in Britain that editors may have assumed no one would challenge the narrative. After all, who was going to defend Trump? This lawsuit isn't about feelings. It's about transcripts, timelines, editorial choices. When meaning is reversed through selective editing, courts start paying attention, especially when the broadcaster is funded by the public. The BBC has previously faced criticism over how it reported Trump, from headlines later amended to guests presented as neutral experts, despite clear political hostility. These were disputes, not verdicts, but taken together they form a pattern worth examining. By the late 2010s, Trump bashing wasn't analysis, it was background noise, news, comedy, commentary, all reinforcing the same caricature. Long before Trump entered politics, British media hostility was already well established. Particularly during the controversy surrounding his Scottish golf course development, Trump was portrayed as a villain, a brash American despoiling the land, bullying locals, defying planners. What received less attention were approvals granted, investments made, and jobs created. The narrative had been written, and Trump fit it perfectly. By 2018, hostility toward Trump was openly expressed by senior British politicians. Sadiq Khan compared Trump's rhetoric to that of extremists. David Lammy likened him to historical despots. Angela Rayner framed him as a democratic threat. And Keir Starmer repeatedly described Trump as morally unfit, language rarely used for any allied leader. Panel shows like Have I Got News for You mock Trump relentlessly. Week after week, year after year, comedy isn't neutral. It teaches audiences what to think and who deserves contempt. Meanwhile, public figures expressing pro-Trump views face consequences. Katie Hopkins was deplatformed and financially destroyed. Others were ostracized, investigated, detained, or quietly erased. So was this a coordinated psyop? Or simply a perfect storm of political fashion, media incentives, and cultural conformity? Either way, the result was identical. We're not asking you to like Donald Trump. We're asking you to watch full speeches, read foreign coverage, compare narratives, and ask yourself calmly, honestly, if the BBC misled you about Trump, what else might they have misled you about? Thanks for watching. Do think for yourself. It's terribly unfashionable, but still rather important.